This is the Nation's Conspire channel. Welcome to today's show. Every year I cover the Super Bowl and the commercials that air during the Super Bowl. It is very important to pay attention to those commercials. And you probably have heard how some people just watch the Super Bowl for the ads. That is a psychosis that the government themselves created to make people want to tune in to see the ads because, of course, this is a part of programming. It's very important that they use the Super Bowl. It is the most watched show in the United States of America. Roughly 1/3 of the population is tuned in, which means they're tuned in for social engineering. They think they're tuning in to be entertained by their favorite false idol celebrities, doing weird, strange things, cracking jokes in these commercials, but no. It is a conditioning mechanism for the audience. Whether they're trying to get you on board with some type of new technology, this is where they do it. If they're trying to get you on board into bringing some of these things into your home that you normally wouldn't, like the Alexa and all these other things over the years, they use the Super Bowl to do that, to normalize it, to plant the seed in your head, to get you to see it, and then to condition you into bringing these types of things into your life. There's lots of things that go on in the Super Bowl. It's not just selling products. It is social engineering 101. We even see them constantly pushing the electric vehicle. So every year I cover the Super Bowl because it's important to pay attention to what they're trying to brainwash people into. And Meta is using the Super Bowl to push their smart glasses with Chris Hemsworth and Chris Pratt. Now, these are two people that you can openly find for yourself that are Illuminati shills, right? We see Chris Hemsworth doing the all-seeing eye symbolism on his Instagram account. Of course, what do you think? He's playing peekaboo and showing this to the world. We see in the ad I'm about to play for you, Chris Pratt doing the triangle of power deliberately as Kris Jenner enters the room. And I'll get into Jenner in a second. But Chris Pratt is also somebody who's posted things like this, very subtle ways of showing you that he's in the club, right? Breakfast of Champions with the eyeball. Looks like an Illuminati pyramid with the all-seeing eye. Chris Pratt plays the role, of course, in Hollywood as being one of those rare celebrities that is a Christian. This is done by design, of course. If nobody in Hollywood pretended to be Christian, then people would become suspicious. Now, the majority of people do look at Hollywood and say it's pretty satanic. But thanks to people like Chris Pratt, they say, well, there's always Chris Pratt, or there's always Republicans like Dennis Quaid. There's some of these people out there who are still doing it, so it doesn't make me super suspicious that it's controlled and ran by a cabal, but indeed it is. So Chris Pratt in the commercial we're about to see does the triangle of power. He holds it up, of course, to the Armenian high priestess, Kris Jenner, who you can see in this photo, on its throne in front of its black and white, Masonic, esoteric, checkerboard wall. So I'm going to play for you this commercial. This is really important you pay attention to this because they are about to start cramming these Meta glasses down people's throats. Wearable technology. We are very, very close to transitioning to this tech being under the skin, and what I believe is the mark of the beast. And all these things like the Fitbits and all that stuff are nothing compared to this next level that we're going to see. Now, these glasses have been available for a while, but a big push is coming to get people on board with these glasses that they can interact with, they can communicate with, they can ask questions to it and get answers immediately, no different than doing an actual Google search. They're going to make this look as cool as possible so people begin the seamless transition from the cell phone, even just wearing the wearables temporarily and eventually getting it under the skin inside the body. So take a look at this.
All right, next up, Ray-Ban and Meta have teamed up to create AI-powered glasses, and they brought in some big stars to show what they can do. Here's an exclusive look at their commercial.
Hey, Meta, what is this artwork?
Comedian by Mauricio Catalan, worth $6.2 million.
What? Whoa. That's a $6.2 million banana. Are you kidding? We need to find you another banana. Bananas.
Gentlemen.
What a place you have.
Who eats art?
I think you're supposed to say, hey, Meta.
Like, hey, Meta, who eats art? And then Meta would say,
Chris Pratt.
Hey, Meta, call my lawyer.
That's some star power in that one.
Yeah, wow. All right. Was not a cheap ad.
So clearly they want that out there for the world to see during the Super Bowl so they could start marketing that to the sheeple out there who will see that and think that it's neat and that it's cool and don't understand that they're being groomed and conditioned into what's going to come after wearable technology. So Mark Zuckerberg thinks that Meta could sell billions of these AI glasses in 2025. There's going to be a big push. You've probably seen how they're trying to rebrand Zuckerberg, having him aligned now with conservatives, having him aligned with Trump, saying that he's on board with Trump, right? This is done by design because that's all that it takes for the MAGA conservative sheeple to be on board with this technology. They don't realize what they're getting transitioned into. So one of the things that comes with this is the interface, right? I've talked about what this is going to be in the future. It's called BCI, Brain Computer Interface. You're going to start seeing things like this normalized, right? So you see made with Ray-Ban Meta, right? Now you're using the technology through your eyes. You're taking pictures through your eyes. You're literally turning yourself into a surveillance camera, which none of these absolutely brain dead people realize. They're walking around recording with these glasses on. They're literally walking surveillance cameras for the deep state, if you want to call them the deep state, for the government, right? But in addition to that, they're also getting you conditioned to see things through your eyes, right? That's what they mean with this new interface. In other words, when you pick up your phone, you have an interface on your phone, right? You have an iPhone, you have an interface, right? You have a Samsung, you have an interface, right? A Windows or a Mac, and you know where your mail is, you know where this is. All this stuff is going to now be through your eyes, right? So the transition is with the Meta glasses and even the Apple lenses, which I've exposed before, to get you to see these things through your eyes. You're not going to be looking down at your phone anymore. You're going to be looking through your eyes. Eventually, you'll hear propaganda about how dangerous it is to look down at your phone. It's dangerous to drive. It's dangerous to walk. All this stuff could be through your eyes inside of your body. But for now, this is the transitional phase, right? So instead of holding your phone up to do a phone call, right? For anyone out there that's FaceTime, I'm sure somebody, during the outbreak, somebody out there listening, I'm sure you're all aware of it, has used the phone and video called grandma or mom or your boyfriend or your girlfriend. Well, you won't need to hold the phone up to your face. You'll be able to put these glasses on. That's one of the ways they're going to market it. Now that people are so used to doing the FaceTime calls, which they weren't a few years ago, now it's, well, you could just put the glasses on, have your phone nearby, and now it all can be right through your lenses. You could see the person right through your eyes. And the other horrors that come with these Meta smart glasses, which I did a video on months ago, is how these smart glasses can reveal personal details about strangers on the street. So people are putting in, creating their own type of technology, which Meta already has under the surface, right? I'm not saying if you buy these glasses, you could do face scans of somebody walking the street and get their information. But you literally can if you attach certain apps to the glasses, etc., right? Meta's not going to market that to you because it would make people say, holy crap, these need to be abolished. We need to burn these things. This is invading people's privacy, right? But this is what the government has the ability to do while you're wearing these glasses, because you're becoming the surveillance system itself, right? So remember this, the terrifying look at how Meta smart glasses can reveal personal details about strangers on the street, even home addresses, right? And this all goes back and this all ties in. What I'm getting at here with wearable tech, you could look at Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk is going to play a prominent role in this. Smartphones are going to become obsolete. You have all these big tech companies, from Elon Musk and Tesla to Samsung to Nokia, all talking about how the phone is going to be obsolete. BCIs, which is brain-computer interfaces like Neuralink, are the way forward. So when they say that a smartphone is going to be obsolete, does anybody out there say, wait, what does that mean? No, they just hear that and they go, no, I don't think it'll ever be obsolete. It's going to be obsolete. So what do you think the next thing is going to be? That we go back to living the way we should, like we're at Little House on the Prairie days? Or do you think the next step is going to be even more technology? Well, of course it is. So what could be next if we're not going to have a phone in our hand, right? Temporarily wearable technology, but ultimately getting underneath your skin. Here are a few clips that explain this, from the World Economic Forum to shows talking about getting this tech and the phone eventually being a part of you. Take a look at what this horror story looks like.
Such a good digital twin that you'll be able to go into the metaverse, into a virtual reality world, turn a dial, pull a switch, feel around, and actually change it in the real plant.
Absolutely. And this is not far off. I mean, the physical and the digital worlds, they will grow together, and the result is exactly what you just said.
I wanted to ask when you all think we're going to move from this form factor to something that's on your face glasses and when computing's all on the edge.
All right, 50 seconds. Who wants to answer quickly?
I think it will go. It will. First of all, it will definitely happen. I was talking about 6G earlier, which is around 2030. I would say that by then, definitely the smartphone as we know it today will not anymore be the usual kind of the most common interface. Wow. Many of these things will be built directly into our bodies. Many of these things will be built directly into our bodies.
Many of these things will be built directly into our bodies.
Can you imagine that in 10 years when we are sitting here, we have an implant in our brains, and I can immediately feel, because you all will have implants.
Hello, Bethany speaking.
Hello, what are you doing?
This is Bethany, can you hear me?
Well, you're right in front of me.
Can you hear me down the phone? This is me. On the phone, I had it implanted. My hand is the phone. Walk and talk, because I'm on the phone inside my hand. I am the phone. This is what phones are going to be from now on. I have integrated subdermal implants. They charge themselves with motion like a self-winding watch. And it's on the 22 network.
When I phoned you, it was ringing. You were ringing.
That's the speaker. So small.
So you even heard mention of a digital twin and being able to touch things and feel things in the metaverse, right? Think about what we're headed towards, the blurring between the physical realm and the digital realm. That's what's happening here. And I believe this is everything to do with the mark of the beast, as I've talked about for years, where the mark of the beast talks about you will not be able to buy or sell without the mark. We're talking about now moving to 6G, where 6G, when it is in place, phones will be obsolete, as you heard him say. What they mean when a phone is obsolete, the next step for a phone is to be embedded inside of you. Now, people think of that and they say, well, now I'm not going to have brain surgery, have a chip like the Neuralink implanted in me. But they don't realize that this is implantable via injection. It can be injected into you. These chips are so small, these nanoparticles are so small they cannot be seen with the human eye. And all it takes is a procedure like that to have this inside of you. So think about it. Think about this push now. Get you conditioned into even further down the line wearable tech, right? They start with the glasses and the lenses at the same time. The next simplest step is to have it in you. It can't get any closer than that. Now they need to normalize the interface so that you see stuff like when you look at your computer, your phone, you see whatever web browser you use, Chrome or whatever it is, okay? You look at the internet, right? You're looking down at your phone. You're going to see this stuff through your eyes, through these lenses first. But when this technology is in you, you aren't going to be human anymore. You're going to be a Borg in a sense. You're going to be transhuman. This tech, you'll be able to see interfaces through your eyes with this technology in you. And of course, people out there will be like, well, that's cool. Well, that's neat. Yeah. Well, it's not neat if it means you're taking the mark of the beast, is it? And I believe it's the mark of the beast for many different reasons, because remember, we talk about the beast system and the internet and the creation of the internet with DARPA and WWW, which translate in Hebrew to 666, all coming from CERN, whose logo happens to be openly 666. And we can all think about the internet and how it's destroyed society. Well, what are they making you most dependent on? The internet. And what can most people not live without? The internet. People lose the internet for a day, they lose their minds. Just think about when they tell you that everything is going to be online. See all the malls closing, all the stores closing, all done by design. Buying and selling. Everything is going to be through the internet. That is the system that will bring about the mark of the beast. And we have artificial intelligence infrastructure coming in to back all of this up. The recreation of the Tower of Babel. So this is really important. I've done videos on the Super Bowl commercials for a long time, right? And we can look at some of the commercials and say, well, this is satanic and this is that. And oh, they're trying to push the EV vehicle and the Agenda 2030 on us. This is very important to note, because the cooler they make this look, the easier they make it look for people. And then as they lower prices, as Ray-Ban has theirs, and then another company will have theirs, and they'll give the illusion of choice that you don't have to buy a Ray-Ban. You can pick whatever brand you want. Whatever other brands are out there, I don't even know of glasses. You can get a Gucci pair, you can get a this pair, right? The celebrities start wearing it. You start seeing them uploading things. That's why the celebrities are so important. That's why I've always exposed them. They're the influencers. right? If they put Klaus Schwab in the commercial, do you think people on watching the Super Bowl at home are going to be like, I want to get those, right? No, they put what they think are cool, hip actors. They choose one who pretends to be Christian and Chris Pratt, right? They choose the other one who's, looked at as, oh, he's a symbol. He's so handsome and all this stuff, right? They go, oh, I love his movies. Oh, I love him. He's Thor, right? That's social engineering, influencing. If they put, some of these politicians in their suits wearing this, you'd be like, I wouldn't wear that. They're dorks. They're losers, right? So they're very important in what they're trying to bring about. People using and being given free will, going about without even realizing what they're doing to themselves, enslaving themselves with tech. They'll willingly take the mark of the beast without even knowing really what it is, because they'll be given a choice, right? You got to take it or you don't. You want to be able to buy or sell, or you won't be able to buy or sell. They won't even have a clue what the mark of the beast is, because most churches don't even teach what the mark of the beast is. They're too busy singing Kumbaya and talking about how Donald Trump has saved humanity, how he was chosen by God and is bringing in the demonic AI infrastructure. It's pretty incredible when you look around and you see how oblivious most people are. But wearable tech, I've yelled about it, I've screamed about it, I've talked about it, and I've rationalized about it. That is the transition into getting all of this under your skin. This is available. They have this available now, this technology. It's ready. It's just about conditioning you into getting there. They've had the Meta glasses out there for a year at least now, right? Not many people bought them. Not that popular. Don't see many people. Well, they have to condition you to get on board and get it. Oh, it's cool. Oh, it's neat. Oh, just try it. Just try it, And this wearable technology continues to be the transition into getting it all inside of your body. Little things that they do, you got to pay attention to, right? And you got to remember things like the Super Bowl. How even the slightest thing, you've heard this notion, right? In the 1970s, people weren't going, hey, I can't wait to watch the Super Bowl for the commercials, right? A lot of people wouldn't even watch it. Just, guys would want to watch the Super Bowl. It was a big deal, but not like it is now, right? They've turned it into it. This is how psychological ops work. You just heard people like, oh, I can't wait for the commercials. Oh, the Today Show doing special segments on the commercials, getting you ready for the commercials, right? Oh, the commercials are a big part of the game. It's a big part of the game because that's the conditioning mechanism. The football's the in-between stuff. They want you to watch for the commercials so they can groom you, right? It's like that old commercial I always play in my videos about the product that's being manufactured is you.
Your living room is the factory. The product being manufactured is you.
Because you are the product that's being manufactured. So that's why they've, even to that level, gotten people convinced to turn on the Super Bowl just for the commercials. You got 1/3 of the country. So this is big for them, for social engineering. We talk about all these shows that have these characters in there. They put a gay guy in there, put this in there, right? That's all part of social engineering. But to get 1/3 of the population to watch those shows, that's something that they struggle to do. With the Super Bowl, they don't. So they give you your halftime ritual that they put on, and then they jam-pack it with commercials that have agendas behind it. And they tell you, well, it's just a commercial. It's supposed to be fun, right? Distracting you with humor while they program you into things that you don't even realize you're being programmed into, while telling you that you're doing this all via free will. It's a very sick, sinister system, but this is what we live in. And we need to be as wise as serpents and as innocent as doves. And that's what I try to be. So pay attention. I'll cover more of the commercials as they come out. This is probably going to be one of the more important ones. Remember, phones will be obsolete. And that doesn't mean that everyone's going back to living in the wilderness without tech like they should be, like I wish we all would. It means that they have plans to go further with the phone. So if the smartphone's not going to be in your hand, where do you think it's going to be? Oh, on your eyes and your glasses? Okay, maybe temporarily. Ultimately, it's about getting you connected to the internet and the internet of bodies. And that's what's coming. I thank everybody for being here. I hope you're all doing well. God bless you and your families as always.